Council.
Thanks for joining us on today's In Wheel Time car show. Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. I have no clue what you're talking about. We've been so distracted with
trying to get on the air
and mechanical things here within Studio A.
So we'll talk a little bit about some electronic and mechanical things on your car. We're going to talk today a little bit about oxygen sensors. You know, everybody talks about having a faulty oxygen sensor in their car. An oxygen sensor basically tells the computer, it's like a nose for the computer, and it tells the computer how much oxygen is in the airstream of the exhaust system, and it takes it at multiple points in the exhaust system to tell the efficiency of the catalytic converter. So the first thing is it goes, how much oxygen's in the exhaust stream before the catalytic converter, and then it does the same thing after the catalytic converter to determine whether or not the catalytic converter is cleaning itself efficiently. The oxygen level in the fuel in the exhaust tells the computer how much fuel to add or subtract from the vehicle. My personal opinion, lots of oxygen sensors are being replaced because the car sets an O2 code that's caused by something else. A vacuum leak will cause an oxygen sensor code because it's lean. So the O2 sensor says it's lean because there's an air leak inside the induction system. So the O2 sensor says it's lean. Well, somebody goes and gets a quick read on an oxygen sensor at the parts store, and they sell them an oxygen sensor, and they put it on. Well, that doesn't fix the reason it's lean, so they still have to go back and fix the vacuum leak. But O2 sensors, when they are on, it means it's time to go. When they do turn the check engine light on, either that it's lean or it's rich, it's time to go get your car looked at relatively quickly, because the longer you go, the more damage it's going to do to the catalytic converter. Because if the engine's running lean, the fuel system's going to be adding fuel and your fuel economy goes down. If the engine's running rich, it means it's actually contaminating the catalytic converter. So when that check engine light comes on, go get it looked at relatively quick, and let's figure out what's going on. Because the longer you drive with a check engine light on, the more consequential damage can happen to your vehicle.
And let me tell you my experience with catalytic converters. My oldest daughter's old Camaro, it had some sort of problem, and it had to have the catalytic converter replaced on it. I bought it. It was used, right? The car, V6 cylinder engine. Well, I put an aftermarket catalytic converter on it. It went out.
Yeah.
And then, because it was cheap, that's why I bought it. And then I had to have another one put on it under warranty. And it went out.
Yep.
It would have been better for me to go ahead and pay the $1,500 that the catalytic converter cost from the factory.
Oh, yeah. As opposed to putting $500 ones on.
Yeah.
And that's actually not uncommon. Catalytic converters, the reason they're expensive is there is what's called noble metal inside, platinum, palladium. It kind of changes, and that is the catalyst.
I used to sing at the Palladium, but that's another story.
That was in your high pump, in your red high pumps, and
yes.
Long story short, so the amount of that noble metal that's in a catalytic converter determines the cost of the catalytic converter. So a lot of people go in and they fail state inspection because a catalytic converter efficiency code, just put the cheap catalytic converter on it, and it gets them past this year, but it generally won't get them past the second year. So it's well worth investing in a quality catalytic converter
$1,500
than a cheap one. And that's not outrageously expensive. There are some that are going to go somewhere north of $3,000 and $4,000 on some of the high-dollar European imports.
Because I know that there was a trend several years ago, especially if you had a truck that sat off the ground, where thieves would go and steal catalytic converters out from underneath the car.
Still happens today.
With a cutting torch or a
go in with a sawzall and cut off both sides of it, and then you'd go buy a used catalytic converter, and it was yours at a salvage yard.
Oh, my God. More of In Wheel Time after this quick break.